So this pretty massive YouTuber by the name of Mujin Official is pretty much going viral based on a pretty bad hit piece that they did recently on Sykkuno. Now, if you haven't been following those allegations, essentially this smaller streamer by the name of Mal ended up posting a 32-page Google Doc where they accused another large streamer by the name of Sykkuno of basically some of the worst things you can accuse someone of, basically accusing this guy of being a predator and a whole bunch of other things for essentially cheating on his girlfriend and talking and having a good time with a lot of women while being in a relationship. Obviously, cheating is bad, but Mal decided to post his doc trying to make this guy out to be one of the worst people alive, to which this other creator by the name of Mujin dropped a video, How to Go from Viral Star to Serial Cheater and Manipulator, The Lies of Sykkuno. Now, people were very quick to notice how unusual this hit piece felt because, for example, Mal ended up posting this Google Doc at 9 a.m. on April 10th, 2026. Mujin literally reposted this Google Doc about 2 hours later with their own 1-hour video going through all of these allegations. So obviously, like, if someone makes a 1-hour video 2 hours after a humongous drama emerges, it's either slop, which is going to be like, you know, adding nothing, not really contributing anything. Might be a reaction video and the guy just is like really good internet. But when it comes to someone like Mujin, this was very obviously like a well-researched, well put together. They had a lot of the information prior to the video being created, which unfortunately was the video's downfall, as it didn't really add anything to the video. It just kind of described who Sykkuno is and like how he grew to be such a large content creator. And then it goes into the allegations, which is literally just him reading the Google Doc, which a whole bunch of other creators have, and pretty much showing the call that this woman had with Sykkuno. He didn't really push back on any of the allegations, you know, didn't really call out the fact that like this post was going to go viral because a multi-million sub creator was being called out for some pretty horrific things, right? Now, the initial backlash for Mujin's video started with this tweet, saying, to all victims worried about any sort of backlash, don't be. They're all the same accounts, and this platform makes it seem like they have a voice by consistently pushing negative replies first. It's all noise. I encourage you all to speak out about your experiences. They matter. So he's obviously trying to paint the picture that like everybody who's critical of his video or Mal's allegations are the same accounts, right? He's literally trying to call us bots. If you think that a man consensually having a sexual relationship with a woman, even if he is cheating on his girlfriend, is like not the worst thing in the world, then you're a bot. If you don't instantly believe that like everyone involved or anyone who's ever had a conversation with Sykkuno is like a victim that barely survived his antics, you are a bot. Now, the next situation in this whole drama was when XQC, the also popular streamer, commented on Mujin's video saying, if he can only date people that are as or more famous than he is, then who could he have dated during his peak era? There were 0 creators that qualify for that. Please clarify, which I think is kind of a good point. Like, when you are that successful, who can you date, right? Like, is he only allowed to date other huge creators? Like, is he only allowed to date Pokimane or Valkyrie or like people on that scale, right? If Sykkuno's at freaking Starbucks and the Starbucks waitress is a baddie, is he not allowed to be like, hey, you're like really attractive. How old are you? Oh, you're 20? You know, can I get your number, your Instagram? Like, is someone who has a large following just never allowed to ever communicate with someone who has a smaller following, right? I have 30K subs. If some like 5K sub pretty woman messages me, am I just not allowed to reply? Now, Mujin's response to XQC, instead of just replying to his comment, was then to screenshot that, go onto Twitter, and say, his girlfriend. He could have simply dated his girlfriend that he lived with, and not lied to her for over 5 years while playing dating simulator with every female content creator in existence. But sure, man, let's instead farm clips calling cheating based. Real classy. So it's like, okay, like playing dating simulator with every female content creator in existence, which is like Obviously not the case, at least from what we've seen, all the people who have come out with allegations towards this guy. But he's not literally just messaging every like 2-follower account or just any pretty woman he sees in the world. He's following creators that he kind of finds attractive, that he enjoys the content they produce, right? Not safe for work content. They're messaging him, or maybe he'll say hi to them, he'll like a post by them, and then that's where the conversation goes. Now, this creator by the name of Powdur, who also is a VTuber creator, decided to pitch into the Sykkuno allegations by saying, ladies, you're not special. We're all special. Showing a message on Discord from Sykkuno from 2023, a 3-hour call. She says, can you criticize him for cheating? Absolutely, but never once did I feel manipulated by this dude. He's a huge flirt, but I was incredibly aware of the power dynamic. Also, he was just friendly. He's quite forward with his riz, which I didn't like being around. It gave me player vibes. Am I gonna flip out on him? No. Usually when someone is like that, they're already talking to multiple people. I see some women trying to play victim as if they didn't have a brain in this situation. Also saw some people throwing the word predator around. I think that's unreasonable. Mujin never really was a reliable narrator. If a larger creator who is friendly asks to play a game with you, would you say no? And obviously, Mujin didn't like that, where he crashed out. Can you criticize him for cheating? Absolutely, but I had no viewers whatsoever and became desperate after trying everything to be relevant, so I chose to appeal to people who hate my gender in order to pay rent. Am I gonna flip on a serial cheater who had sex with women without telling them that they'd be homewreckers? Of course not. Morals are an obstacle to my income. He then says Mujin was never really a reliable narrator, so when his video eventually comes out about me being canceled by my audience for secretly having dated a black guy, even though I keep saying that I can't stand minorities, please don't trust him. Also, English is my first language, and I have no idea that predator can mean a person or organization that uses weaker people for their own advantage. But it's okay, my audience gobbles up anything I say anyway. Dumbass simps, LMAO. So from what I see, he's trying to like mock this creator, Powdur. I have no idea who they are, so like I don't understand any of that. I think he's trying to just accuse this person of being a grifter. Essentially, we know it all too well, unfortunately, these kind of people who, you know, create political content or like, I guess, talk about minorities and whatnot. But this Powdur person dates a black guy. I don't understand any of this context, so maybe there's just like a deeper rooted like history behind this that I don't understand. You're gonna make a video being canceled for dating a black guy, like, is that a joke? I don't think his audience would like that if it was a joke. To which Powdur literally ratioed this guy by just saying, damn, you're like really mad, LOL, which is like, that's literally the only thing you can say to that. Like, that was actually like an unhinged post. You literally didn't have to reply, right? This is kind of the phase that appears that Mujin is in. It screams lolcow behavior. Like, he has no idea not to post things because he hasn't received that level of like media training yet, because he's in his own little bubble of like just making well-researched commentary videos, which this one was a flop. A lot of people are calling it out, thinking that it was an obvious hit piece where he worked together with a lot of these accusers to make this video that a lot of people disagree with. And now he seems to be like in this bubble where he doesn't know how to handle the backlash. Powdur also says, stop f***izing me in a mixed race relationship, you fuckwad. Gross behavior, again, ratioing him. We finally reached the end of the line where yesterday Mujin just basically put out a post to his community and decided to turn off his comments because he couldn't take the heat, saying, some members of my community have reached out regarding a few concerns. I want to make sure I properly address them before we fully move on from this topic. Look, I'm flattered that Himamal tweeted that she considers me a close friend. I'm grateful for her trust, but the first time we spoke was on April 7th, so this narrative that the video was made as a favor to anyone is simply false. The truth is, Sykkuno's serial cheating and manipulation was only the tip of the iceberg, and I was hoping the video would encourage the many others who have stayed quiet for years to finally find the courage to talk about their experiences. Unfortunately, with the current state of affairs, that doesn't seem like it'll happen anymore, even if they were to somehow fit the image of a perfect victim. I don't blame them whatsoever. Instead, I can only wish them the best, and I hope that his ex, who's cheated on for 5 years, can find the peace that she deserves. And I agree with this part. That's like the only part I agree with him on. As for me, I'll continue making videos that millions of people enjoy, and when prompted, I'll still strive to do the right thing, even if it's not trendy, because that's just how I was raised, and it's simply who I am. That'll never change, no matter how many vultures try to desperately farm my name. Bro, like, okay, so he's flexing the fact that he gets millions of views, right? Obviously trying to paint the picture that pushing allegations, accusing someone of being a predator for basically being a simp or a e-boy, fuckboy is the right thing. It's the right thing to do, guys. If my DMs ever leak of me messaging 20 girls, even though I'm a single man, and Mujin makes a video on it, it was the right thing to do, right? It's simply who he is. And it's also not trendy. Apparently, it's not trendy to post breaking allegations before anyone else does about a massive content creator with millions of subscribers and viewers, right? Thank you for being the best community I could ever ask for, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is. Mujin, comments disabled. Love to see it. And that's kind of where it is, right? Mujin is a pretty successful creator. Again, he's flexed the fact that he gets millions of views a video. I even enjoyed some of his videos, right? Like I think his videos kind of covering some of the like Marvel Rivals drama and some of the drama like how to fake an entire esports career without playing. Like some of these videos were genuinely interesting. I've watched a few, listened to a few, and this one was just completely off. It was literally just reading the Google Doc, playing the videos included with the Google Doc, and presenting everything as if it was factual, as if there was nothing to criticize, as if there was nothing to call out about these allegations, about this Google Doc, about the fact that like everyone in this situation was possibly consenting, or that maybe it's not as bad as like this person's making it out to be. And that's the main reason why people are calling out this Mujin guy, because as someone with that large of a following, with that huge community, this video is literally like 2 million views in 5 days, right? Potentially able to ruin the career of Mujin. Obviously, the allegations from Hema Mall and these other women will damage his career as well. But when you're the very first YouTuber to break this story and then not being able to like take criticism of your content or of your presentation of this content, it's just a really bad look, right? But you have to just take that L sometimes, whether that be delete a video or make an update video on a situation, or whenever it does come the time where you have to go onto Twitter and explain your side of everything, sometimes you take the L. Sometimes you admit your coverage of something was bad. I want to know what you guys think, though, down below. As always, I appreciate you watching. Peace out.